Well, I'm here with Ian from Terminology. We're going to discuss some of his R&D and what we've done for him. Ian.
Thanks for having me, Scott. Yes, Terminology is a small data company which enables people to tell big stories. Yes, we have products in the digital space, but we also have a strategy and consulting aspect to what we do, just to make sure that people are guided along the way.
All right. So, how have you found the experience of doing R&D?
Well, you guys have made it painless. We've had some previous experiences where we've not really felt like it's been meaningful enough, and it's been quite a convoluted process. I feel like you have to be an expert in documentation, whereas I think you guys have really taken us through a step-by-step process that's simplified that. And I've got to say, the last time I looked at our R&D application, I actually thought, and I've said this to you, but I thought, wow, I actually know what we're doing for our R&D, because there it is articulated, properly for the first time in a meaningful way.
So, actually, could you speak to how it can't be just done in one day and somebody can call me and go, hey, Scott, can you do it today?
There's a lot to it. You have to get some new rhythms and habits in your business to make sure that you are pacing it out over the course of the time that you're actually doing it. And actually, you guys have been, that's another thing, there's been a lot of patience, I think, from you and the team, really, just to help us get our rhythm, and also when it comes to the crunch time of getting the paperwork finalised, please give us the things that we need, to finalise this. I know you're running a busy ship, but please get that stuff to us. And I think that's a big part of why we like working with you guys, is that patience factor. But ultimately, in answer to your question, that finding the rhythms of that all year round is the key. Look, the previous experiences I've had out there, it seems like people are just filling out paperwork and telling people what they want to hear, as opposed to, here's genuinely what our R&D program is, and this is the best way that we can articulate it, so that, not only is it meaningful for us, like I said, but the actual, it's the whole point of the R&D, is to encourage companies to innovate. And if you can document that in a way that's understandable for people, that helps everybody.
Well, we want it to be a good experience, but also we need it to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and to make sure we're cogent with what actually is necessary to go to Oz Industry and the ATO.
Yeah, and this is the great thing, I suppose, as well, is that I know you guys have to deal with a lot of compliance. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. And there's probably more hoops to jump through than there used to be. And so that's nice to know that there's a safe pair of hands, that we don't have to worry about that.
With Jessica behind Granted and 25 years of law, it just means the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed in the way that we can protect our clients, and making sure that we're supporting them all the way through audits. We're looking after all the record keeping, where Cinch has actually been important for our clients to come on board with.
I mean, Cinch is the zero of R&D. Any software package that can make the job easier on both sides is an absolute winner for mine. And a lot of the emails, back and forth, that can be cut out just simply by using a platform like Cinch.
We want to make sure that you fit as neatly as possible, and that you've got all the records, and that you're compliant, and then we'll support you in that. We won't do. Actually, the ones that go off and go do it themselves, they don't have good records. They haven't had somebody picking at them.
I was going to say, and I think some people think it's a rudimentary spreadsheet with some numbers, some dollars that we've spent, and here's what we think we should get back. but there's more of a depth to it than that. And you don't really understand the depth of it until you work with, someone like you guys with Granted R&D, before you realise, hang on, this can be a genuine thing that we do to grow our business. And I find it a bit. I'm befuddled. There's a good word. I'm befuddled when I hear people thinking they can just fill out a form, because having been through it with you guys over many years, I know that's just crazy town.
Well, look, Ian, it's much easier to be compliant from the get-go, and you can't go make this stuff up afterwards. It's just, you don't know when you did stuff, and you didn't know what was used. So it's a lot easier, and we've said this now to clients multiple times. You don't have a submission registration right now. How about we do one for next year? And that's what we've done multiple times now, to say, how about we get one for next year, and you start all that record keeping right now, and to make sure that we've got it all right for you.
And the other thing that I've noticed too, because we have been doing it for many years, it's fine to do it 1 year or the second, 2 years, but there has to be a progression in your R&D through those years. And I think that's where you guys have been great too, is guiding us through and saying, all right, what's next? And is that meaningful to the journey that you're on?
Yep.
If it's not, then reconsider your projects that you're doing for R&D.
Yeah. Well,
if you're seemingly chasing your tails and not progressing that, then that makes it very hard for us to make a case, and that's good, because that sort of feedback's what we need to do meaningful R&D continuously.
Yep. And if it's not continuous innovation and experimentation, then it's just commercialization then. And if it's commercialization, it's not R&D. Go find a new idea. Go find a new problem to solve, and then go find out how to do the experiments you need to cover the new innovation that you want to do. But it's knowing when it's finished, and you can't flog the dead horse, because again, you're exposing yourself to too much risk.
Well said.